Hey guys, we're back with Target for Cost. Today we did another Boy in the Box at our locals at Pile in Long Beach, California. Today we have the third place winner. What's your name?
Julian.
Julian. And what did you play today?
I played Ancient Bonds. So it's Ancient Gabumon and BondofFriendship.
All right. And what did you place today?
Third.
Third. All right. Just do your deck profile.
All right. So
start with however you feel comfortable.
So I'm going to start with throwing that I got. These are my non-Gabumons, the Stravimons. They're here to search for the tamers and hybrids such as let's see, the Lobos, Kendo Garurumons, or the Promo Lobos. As you really need those to go into the full combo, or just make sure you have enough security to not die immediately.
All right.
It also makes it so that you then are also a hybrid deck. So even though while it does suck that when you whiff the Ancient Garurumon or the BondofFriendship or Gabumons, having just being able to get a tamer and a hybrid is you need it.
All right. What else?
All right, so that's these. I also run 4 copies of the Draw 1 Gabumon.
So you only got like what, 2 alternates?
Yeah, I got 2 alternate arts. Friend gave it to me just because he's like, hey, I got extra, I may as well give it to you.
Oh, nice.
I was like, thanks. Obviously, this is good because you need the Draw 1 and it's a Gabumon. And so this just makes it so that if you put it in the raising area, counts for math, counts for draws, and if you don't put it in the raising area, you still get the draw
play
one.
Draw. So either way, you're drawing with this Gabumon.
And it's good also against stuff like, say, going against like Sakuyamon or other things for security control possibly too, because if they don't immediately kill it, or they, try to go for recovery instead or whatever else, then this is still a target for a bond.
Right. So basically, you're just saying if you don't add it now, I'm whooping you next turn.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
It's good for that. Yeah, and then let's see. I got 1 Madoki Betamon.
Just one?
The reason we do that is because most decks you don't really, have people that are getting memory crazy. But it can make it so that if they need to do one play and they just need that one extra memory on their, option card or whatever, they say, no, you don't gotta do that. And I did actually get one guy with this where you couldn't use his 6 costs of the...
Oh, was it the yellow player?
Yeah, the yellow 6, you get 3 memory boost.
Yeah.
And so with that, hey, it got 1 use in the tournament. I say that was worth using.
I mean, honestly, as long as it hurt 1 person.
Yeah, it's just like a tech mora. And then I run 2 of these since it's an ancient version. Usually you want to run 4, but since with ancient you have so many Gabus and Shravis you can use that I feel 2 is worth it. Okay. And obviously you need these because it's basically just the Agumon but Gabu.
Right.
And so this just makes it so that even if you don't get any hits, well, you weren't going to get the tamers anyway, so it makes it easier to get to the tamers.
Right.
Yeah, it makes it so that like, it's like, I would have had to draw 5 and I wouldn't have gotten a single tamer. So even though it sucks when you don't get a hit, it's like in the end, you kind of
maybe my next card will be the tamer.
Yeah, and it usually is. Yeah, and then obviously the man of the hour and the one where I got a pre-release for Gabumon, the one that gives you the Bond of Friendship for the level 7. And this could work with the Ancient. This also gives you, if you play a mat, you gain a memory. What is it? And so what this one does too is you get the 3 hits of security. And so with that, you do 3 checks, which is like, it's ridiculous because that makes it so that they're basically already more than halfway done with the securities you got to deal with.
And if they're trying to build wide, you're just putting 3 things to the bottom of their deck.
Exactly. So even if can't do too many security checks, you can't kill one thing, then pop the other guy and you do that 3 to 4 times. With the ancient version, I'm pretty sure you can like board wipe up to 6 to 8 Digimon.
Okay.
Possibly. I'd have to check again, but I remember doing the math one time. And so, no matter how big your board is, it can go away real easy. Alright. Run the 4 Lobomons, easy enough. You already know how it goes with the Omnimon in BT5 or the Rookie Rush version of Garuru or Imperial or any deck in blue. It just makes it so you can win the board, like no matter what, especially if you're running a lot of tamers because it's just like, I need 1 more hit, I have 2 memories, boom, game, no matter what. Yeah. Or you could also like stagger it, so it's like, you can kill one, then it's like Okay, well that's dead now. Well, I have 3 more tamers, so I play this.
Going for it.
Okay, it's dead.
Again. All right.
Boom. And so even something like, say, Iron Fist Onslaught, where, you know, if it was regularly played, all these should be dead.
Yeah, but you're just gonna do it one at a time.
Since they're tamers, well, doesn't matter anymore. So that's why this one's good, but any blue player knows, and red, that
Now,
hybrids are always good.
but are you really willing to get rid of your tamers?
Yes, because you wanted to have it be the end of the game, so what's the use of the tamers at that point?
Fair enough. I mean, yeah. Okay.
Like you just need that one extra hit.
Yeah.
There isn't gonna be a next turn. It's just I win. Is the idea. And also, this is the better one for even at the mid game. This can really save your ass. Is this one, Kendo Gabumon. Now the reason why this one's really good is that I lose my tamer, but say you have one Davis and there's a lot of level 3s. You use the Kendo, well there's one less at least. Because this one pops the level 3 back to the hand.
Okay.
And so, especially if you keep it on the field, every time they try to play level 3, no.
Just keep bouncing it.
Oh, especially with the Mechanori too. It's like, I'm 6k, do you really want to block that? Because now I can rookie rush you, and now I can use all my level 3s.
Okay.
And so that's the thing that makes it better. So even in mid game, it could like mess up stuff. And so you say if you run if you have an extra Davis, right? So you have more than one. Sometimes it's better to do this.
Yes.
You know, and not many people run black anymore with the whole Zwart defeat, so you're not really worried about your tamers getting popped too much. Like basically, unless you're facing like a Royal Knights deck, you're really not going to find too much Zwart defeats to pop your tamers.
All right. But how do you feel going up against 3 Musketeers? Like they're not really getting rid of your tamers, but they're getting rid of the rest of your board.
Well, exactly. That's why I had to use the tamer aspect of it, so that beginning of the game, it doesn't matter. They can't kill your guys too often because they give you so much memory. Mid to end game, well, you have enough tamers by mid to end game that you could just use a hybrid deck at that point.
Okay.
Because you'll be like, I have 5 tamers, I have 4 of these guys, and then so then I'll like swing, dice, swing, dice. So it's like, you used what is it called again? The Geralt Schwarmer, right? Okay, well I only have one guy that's a 6 cost. So you use a 7 cost to kill my 6 cost. So now I have my other 4, hybrids to win game.
Okay. So basically, this is just like almost a rookie rush type of fielding deck, right? Because it's just a bunch of like level 3s.
Well, it's not so much rookie rush. It's more like a precursor to what the BT7 meta is for like hybrids. It's more like you want to keep your stuff as the tamers being like on the field so that it doesn't just get popped immediately.
Okay.
This will be more obvious of why this is like really good to do stuff like that once we get stuff like the Magna Gurumon and Kaiser and all that in 2 months from now with BT7.
Okay.
So then, obviously, the man of the hour also, Promo Lobomon. This is the only reason you use the Ancient Guru version because it makes it so you could do about, let's see, you swing with your regular hybrid, then you swing with Ancient Gurumon. You unsuspend. You swing with your regular hybrid and your Ancient Guru. You swing with the regular hybrid, so that's 3. Then you go into Bond of Friendship if you have enough memory. 6 swings. And you could pop or kill, 1, 2, 3, 4 guys while doing that.
Okay. And this is the one that skips straight into the Ancient, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So as long as you have memory boost, hammer sparks, a Matashita, not Matashitas, and definitely what's his name again, Davis, then you're good. You can always go into it as long as it's not popped by the time that it's your turn. Because it is one digivolving, so that helps. So this, I'm only using this because we don't have the starter decks yet, but once this happens, I'm probably going to replace these with Cordramons or more memory boosts. 2 Magnas.
Alright.
Now the reason why is because you got to destroy so much security at times
that you just kind of want to...
You just use this so you get +2 memories. And I do think there is a tech where, technically speaking, you have 0 security when it's on main with the mat, so it reaches prerequisites. When you put this on, you get the 2 security, but since at the start of your turn and on main, you didn't have any, the Gabumon stays on the field.
Okay. Now, how much of these come in today?
Well, one guy I was faced, he used his own Magna, and I just used my own, so I memory choked him to 1, and I was like, well,
Okay.
That's not even the point. Like, you're supposed to be risky with the memory, but with that, I didn't
at that point, you're like, thank you.
yeah, I didn't even have to risk anything yet with that. So it's like,
No risk, all reward.
yeah, but it is good because something like Rookie Rush or other things, if you're able to kill all the rookies, no matter how big the board is, how much they memory wipe you, it's like, okay, I have the 2 security checks. So as long as by the next turn, you don't, I killed you at that point. Doesn't matter that you have 20 rookies. I still have those 2 securities, and before the turn, you only had 1 rookie that could swing.
Yeah.
So that's the main reason.
Just
that
gotta make it that one more turn.
Yeah, they don't rush it. But once the the Quadramons and the Hammer Sparks and the what's it called? The blue memory boost comes in for searching,
the memory boost? Yeah.
and also just for security checks and all this stuff. I'm probably gonna take these out.
Yeah, it's a little sad that blue and red didn't get their memory boost.
Yeah,
Like
at
you said.
lunch.
Yeah. But instead, yellow got it.
Yeah, it happens. I mean, Howling's still good, but that's gonna be later on with the deck profile. So obviously, also with these 4,
Ooh.
Ancient Garuru. Now the reason why I went max
These are the
rarity
alternates,
for
right?
these, yeah, the reason why I went max rarity with these was 1, I knew Bond was gonna be relevant, and 2, I don't like the regular art. So I was like, I love this alt art. Also, this is one of the reasons I got into the game was because I was like, damn, this is how good the art can be. I guess I gotta, get into it.
Oh, so you started with
Into the
BT4. Okay.
No, I started with BT3, but Japan was already at BT5, so I was
really?
able to see the art.
Okay.
And I said, yeah, I gotta get these alt arts. I'm not gonna go regular art. No way. And that's basically it. I mean, obviously, I already kind of explained with the hybrids how this works, but just you could summon a hybrid when it's dead, any level 4 or below, so you can go into Strabby for free, get the searchers for the tamers for free,
Just keep.
and then or you can go into the Kendo, and if they don't kill it, then they know if they summon any level 3 or any level 4, and they try to swing that's like below 6k on my turn, then they had to worry about that. So it just really gives a lot of field presence.
It just puts a lot of pressure on them.
And the U main is what makes it really good though, because if you're facing something like Izzy and Joe, then it's like, oh, I get 2 memory. No, it's a U main. So I don't summon another Digimon, I only got 1, now you only get 1 memory. Because, depending on what you could do, they could go into Gankumon or any other thing, or especially with yellow, that could really just, screw you over getting that 2 extra memory from the raw playing.
Oh yeah.
So that's the idea with the Ancient. It's an I win more, and it's an alternative if you don't want to lose your securities. And this is the real man of the house, because this is like, it's just the Bond. I was having another alt art yet because I'm waiting for them to go down. If I bought them at an original price, be 40. Right now they're about 20 something. So right there, already saying 15 each.
To, like, split it.
Yeah.
So.
Also, they go well because I'm pretty sure the artists are the same for the alternative, Ancient, and the Gabumon.
Okay.
Because let's see who it is. It's yeah, this one's has the knee, and this one has the same. So I'm pretty sure they're the same artist.
Okay.
And so I like that they go together. Where with the alt art of this is the other guy.
Like, yeah.
Is the guys who do the Imperial stuff. But obviously, this just has.
Also, I didn't pay too much attention to the artist of the cards.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it makes sense because it's good that Namco credits it. Cause
Oh, yeah.
One thing that with Yu-Gi-Oh, they don't credit the artist.
It's just like the same one person.
Yeah. So I really like that. Also, you could check what their stuff is if you really like them. But obviously, with this one is when attacking, if you have Tamer in play, you may unsuspend this Digimon. So that's how you unsuspend one time.
And then Gabumon.
Yeah. Then with Gabumon, you unsuspend another time, so it actually makes it 3 hit. And then obviously the best of the best, which makes this better than stuff like Courage or other decks that are TK. Return one of your opponent's level 5 or lower Digimon to the bottom of his deck. So that just makes it so that you
Wiping
can't
their
do
board presence.
yeah, things like Aosmon, like freaking
Rookie Rush.
yeah, or Lucamon, things like that. It makes it so that they can't do as much because instead of being trashed, it goes to the bottom of the deck. There's not really that many cards that want that. Like decks where it's like, oh, I want this to be on the bottom. Because this isn't like a control deck where you might deck out. It's I die on turn 4 or I win. Yeah. So it's one of those things that you just go hard, and that's also why the Ancient Guru matters so much. Is because with the Matashita, you lose the 2 security, but if you go the Ancient Guru version, you don't lose the 2 security. So you can do so many more plays by being able to do that.
So this is just like I'm going in for the kill, which will go with the ancient Gabumon if you just kind of want to play it safe and just prolong the game a little bit.
It makes it so that you go more mid game, and if you can spire that, then like you can win with that. And the reason why you can only do this version is because of the ancient Greymon. It's when attacking, you get all those checks, so you can't really digivolve into a bond from that, because then it's like you can't really attack with it at that point.
Yeah.
So that's what makes this doable, whereas with the bravery one, you can't really go into just like an ancient Greymon.
Yeah, they're all more just like one big attack.
Yeah. Where with this one, you could do one big attack.
And then another big attack.
Yeah, and then another
big
yeah,
attack.
Yeah. So it's like basically you get multiple options with this version, because you could just do the Digivolve level 6 or 7, keep it as a raw level 6, or keep it as a raw level 7, and then just like, so you have 3 different ways to OTK your opponent.
Okay. So like this has a lot of like mobility.
Yeah, and then mid to end game you have the high rolls. So then, obviously you go. No, I keep on saying that, but you go with 3 Davises. Just good for searching. Really, not any other good blue tamers outside of maybe a Mad Sheeta.
All right, so why not 2 and why not 4? Like why'd you settle on 3?
Well, because I use 4 Mad Ashitas, and usually it's either it doesn't matter that you hit these, or they really matter, but it's at mid game. So you'll eventually get to them, and you only need 1.
Okay.
Like, because you only need 1 for the 3 memory, and since there's not enough tamer popping, why go for an extra? Because it's basically it's just a dead card at the point like you have more than 1, unless you want to go for the hybrid play. But if you can win at the beginning of the game, why would you ever play another one when you could just swing with an extra rookie?
Yeah.
And so yeah, that's why I go with 3 though, because I do want to be a little sick. Because going 2, then you might miss it.
Okay.
Yeah, because the way this works is it's just for searching.
So it's not 4, so you don't really need it because you don't really need it. It's not 2 because you do want to see it at least.
Yeah. Well, also because memory boost has the same effect. Blue memory boost when that comes out, and so then I'll have 4 searchers. I only need 4. Why would I have 5 searchers? That's too much. And so in mid to end game, if I have 5 searchers, what's the point?
Yeah.
And then let's see. I'm gonna go with the 4 Madashitas.
Obviously,
the thing that makes the deck run. There's been multiple times where I've done 4 Madashitas, so when I get a Gabumon out, I gain 4 memory, and I do 4 drops. Nice. And so every time you do this, for each mat, you always get a drop. So out of a 5 baby deck, you could possibly get
a best 20 draws.
20 draws and 20 memory gain possibly. And like all you need is 1, but when you get that extra, it feels nice when you have a Gabu. It doesn't feel nice when you get a what's it called? The Strabby, but there's only 4 out of the 14 or so. So
yeah.
It's not as
like you're picking enough Gabumon where you should at least see a couple.
Yeah. It's like if you don't, then that means you have a bad matchup and you have a bad hand. And even then, it's not that bad to get the Strabby for the whole raising stuff. So it's not too often. Obviously it sucks, but you can make a comeback.
Oh yeah.
One time I had no level 3s and I was still able to win that match.
You know what? Like I have played against this deck a couple of times, and they just were like the deck ran fast. But although one of them was also playing the ancient Guru build, I feel I don't know. I don't think he was playing it right.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, this is the kind of thing where when the Magna comes out in BT7, that's when the Strabby becomes even better, because then you can also get another level 6, where right now it is a bit of a dead card. So sometimes if you overplay your Strabbies or your Gabumons, it can make it so you have all these tamers but no level 6. But if you don't play them, you then don't have any tamers to do anything. So it's one of those things where you got to see what your starting hand is and see what route you want to go with.
Okay.
Especially with this version, because this version is with Rookie Rush, you just go as fast as possible. But with this one, you have multiple options, so go with the 2 or 3 routes you can go for. Use your advantage of what you have in this.
Okay, so instead of maybe that's what it was. He was just always trying to go for one route when he had a different options available to him.
When you have multiple, if you have the Ancient Guru and the Lobomon. Don't care about the match and don't care about the BondofFriendship. If it happens, it happens. But what you want to have is the Davis, because then you'll always have enough to do at least 2 to 3 hits. Okay. And if you have only mats, then who cares about Marcus? If you get at least 2 mats, boom, you get the 3 memory now, so you can go into bonds. If you have a really bad hand, obviously.
Okay.
But like
that's worst case scenario.
yeah, if you have the two worst case scenarios, which can happen because this deck can be bricky, especially since we don't have the memory boost yet. But you gotta work with what you have. Digimon's still a bricky game, and not like at that point yet where you can just search for everything.
Not yet.
Yeah, maybe in like BTA, but that's like 4 months from now.
Oh god. All right. What else we got?
So now we go to the what's it called? The option cards. So 3 rattle stars.
3 battle stars. All right.
So the reason why is I feel like at most times, most things you have a wide board, right?
Mm-hmm.
So why go with Kokaida's Breath if this just costs 2 less?
And does this the same thing return one? Okay.
Yeah.
So it's level 5 or lower.
Because what it is, unless you have 3. So with Jessamon, what do you usually see? You see at least 2 Sistermons and a Jessamon. Well, Radisol does the same, but you get 2 extra memory, which means you could go for a Lobo play possibly, or other things like that. Or memory choke them, and 2 memory less is a lot. Same with 3 Musketeers. 3. What's another one? Just many of them. Titamon too. Like Azulamon's probably the only one where this might not be the best thing because they can just go one line, and the Radisol wouldn't really do much.
Okay.
And the only other thing I'd say too is like even with something like a security control is if you get into the if you swing at the Zord and then they have 3 guys, well now you can use Rattlestar to get the Zord out.
Yeah.
And that's something I messed up on. I underestimated how good this card was, so that's how I only got 3rd instead of
Okay.
yeah. Well, I mean, obviously there was other things, but that was one of the biggest misplays I did. I should have went harder and used the Rattlestar since I had in my hand the whole time.
Oh, okay. So you kind of just sat on it instead of thinking.
Yeah, like don't be scared if they get a 3rd guy when you swing, because that means now you can get their level 6s or above out.
Yeah.
And so
Basically, kind of force them into doing it just so you can immediately get rid of it.
it punishes people for going wide. And that's what makes these really good.
So it really hurts Eosmon.
Yeah, that too. Yeah. It's great. Yeah, I mean that's the whole thing.
See, this entire deck just hard counters Eos.
Yeah, which makes sense because it's supposed to be an anime reference.
Yeah, exactly.
So
But
then
they could have just been fair.
those are Rattlestars. Obviously, still go Kokaitis if you want. There is some more guaranteed, but that 2 extra memory can really bite you.
Now,
Depending on.
would you bump the Rattlestar up to 4?
No.
No, you're happy with the 3.
You want to just rush. If you have too many things to, pop a guy, then you're not going quick enough. And you already have the Gabumon to just pop guys anyways.
Okay.
Because it's like, Gabumon itself is almost like a Rattlestar. It's
a better Rattlestar.
It is just a Rattlestar in a sense, right? So in a sense, you get, what is it? Especially if you have the perfect line. You, in a sense, get to use a 15 option Rattlestar. 15 Rattlestars.
Yeah, it's not only are you checking security, but you're using 3 Rattlestars.
For 3 costs, in a sense. So why would you use that extra one?
You're not fair enough.
And there's better options too, because what you really need is the memory. 2 Hammer Sparks, I might bump it up to 2, or maybe 1 extra. I gotta see what I do with a blue memory boost, but it's just an easy enough one. It just makes it so you get
it's just
extra
a
memory.
1+1 memory, or if it checks in security, gain 2. And that can honestly probably even put it back into your turn before their attacks are done.
If you get the 5, then like, 1 more Hammer Spark. I had the 6 now. Now I can go with the Ancient Guru BondofFriendship version instead of just going Ancient Guru or Bond. And then if you have, what is it? Yeah, same like you said with the whole, do they hit it once or twice? Okay, now you don't win the game.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm definitely gonna go for Ice Wall when that comes out in EX1. But for the time being, this is the best you can do. Like when it comes to making them lose memory on their turn, is the Hammer Spark.
Hammer Spark, I just feel like it's just like one of those cards that just always be good.
It'll always need to be reprinted because
Yeah.
as soon as someone can't get the Hammer Spark and there's only such limited supply, shoots up. And I mean, there are stuff like in Magic or Yu-Gi-Oh where they don't reprint enough, so certain cards are staples that you need. You can't get them, and they go up to like $80 because even though they can sometimes be commons or rares, because you can't find them anywhere and you need them. Well, I guess I can make that money.
I mean, one thing I gotta say about Bond is like, when they saw that, they're like, all right, since we're having another blue structure deck coming out, reprint it in there.
Yeah, and then this also screws over a lot of decks.
And this is
Howling Memory Boost, as what it can do is say you have a Jessamon or anything else. If you can use enough of these, and you do it correctly, you make it so that a Jessamon can't swing, and that changes everything. Or you make it so that, like, what's it called? The Sistermons can't swing, or anything can't swing if you do it right. And so that makes it so that if Jessamon has 4 security checks, and you got 5, right? And they only got 1 Sistermon out. Well, then guess what? Even if they go into Animon, that's only 5 security checks. And so now they don't win games. So on the next turn, if you have enough to win game, now you won game instead of losing.
And plus just being like, okay, gain 2 memory on a different turn.
Yeah, and yeah, that's the thing too. It slows your opponent down, but not you.
Yeah, I mean, essentially it makes itself as a 1-drop to stop your opponent for a turn.
In a sense, I use 1 cost so that you can't attack.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I feel like that's just a really strong card.
And you can memory trade, because say you have 2. This is 3, you put them to 1. Now, they also, with their Digivolving, it's like, what can I do? Yeah. And the best thing is that you have a second one. I Digivolve. Okay, Howling Memory Boost again. So now you can't attack again.
And then on different turn, all right, activate both effects, gain 4.
Yeah,
it
then you gain 4.
So much options.
So then you can double Lobo.
Yeah.
And you can win game with that.
All right, and that's it for the deck. So what else do you feel you would change anything besides the Hammer Sparks? Like before the starter deck comes out?
Before the starter deck?
Or the next set?
I mean, if it's before the starter deck, I just say put 2 Hammer Sparks and replace the Magnadramons. But I just had to wait a week, and what is it? And the Cordramons I feel are also going to be useful, so I gotta see with that. And I'm definitely going to check some decks to see what my style is again once the starter deck comes out. Because the only reason I made this version specifically with the Magnadramons and like the only 2 of the Hammer Sparks and a lot of these is due to the fact we didn't have the starter deck. So I just copied mostly copied. I made my own twist on it because I have the the Kendo Garumons, but I just thought, what is a version of this that doesn't need blue memory? And I only found like 2. And so I said, okay, this, and change it a little.
All right. Now, what decks did you face today?
Faced Security Control, a Security Control, and an Aosmon.
All right. Was there any difference between the 2 security controls?
One was a bit more aggressive, the other one was more defensive.
Okay. And which one did you find more troubling to play against?
More troubling was the one I won on, because with the second one, I feel like I did a few misplays because I'm not used to Sakuyamon and the I forget the other thing he had. But the Mastermon. I'm not used to people still running Mastermons.
Okay.
Whereas with the other guy I faced, it's like the Mechanorimon was a real hassle. The 3 Izzy Joes made it so I could only have 1 tamer, 1 Digimon ever. Because if I had any single other one,
you give him like 6 extra memory.
Yeah, I get 6 memory, and it's like, well, okay, I lose then, because that means every turn he gets 6 extra memory. Whereas if I only have 1 and I just use a lot of option cards and tamers, memory choke him to 1.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for your deck profile, and better luck in your future endeavors.
All right.